Hello everyone watching. I'm Soke as usual. So today I'm going to tell you a short story about my ex-girlfriend Angel. Really, I was in deep love with her, but unfortunately she let me down. If you have not yet subscribed, please go into your YouTube and search for Click Files Media and subscribe through our channel. Let me tell you the story from the beginning. I started my school last year. As I was at school, it was a boring day, so I looked up for another schedule to follow so that I can make it up. So I went to the inner school competitions. There were swimming competitions. That's where I found her. So as I sat down, of the three girls, Angel was the most beautiful. Really, my heart ran hills and hills with her in love. So that night, I only thought about one thing. Would I see her again the following morning or the following day? Really, that was the only thing that I was thinking about. So, very early in the morning, I did choose to take a lot of time getting ready in the mirror. But for this time, I took a lot of time getting ready in the mirror. This was because of my crush, Angel. So, as I was done with the mirror, I had to go and choose outfits from the wardrobe. Although my family is middle class in finance, at least I have very many clothes to choose from in the wardrobe. This is all because of my daddy's wonderful boss, Mr. Fred. Mr. Fred has a son who is 3 years older than me. His son likes sports. One day, he was rock climbing and unfortunately he got an accident and he passed away. It's a pity for Mr. Fred. In addition, the wife also had passed away 2 years ago. So this impressed Mr. Fred a lot and a lot. So he started inviting me to his house. I used to go there daily and daily and daily. So we used to have long chats as hours and hours. So one day he told me that the way I think reminds him of his past son. He told me he would like to offer my education, and when I'm done with my education, he will give me a job in his company. I gladly accepted because it was a good offer. I couldn't deny. So he told me, let me favor him in one thing. He wanted to give me his son's clothes. He told me, please accept my son's clothes. I transport them to your home so that whenever you come to pay a visit to my home, you always put them on because you make me remember my son. Really, I couldn't deny. I accepted because it would also work for me. That's why I have very many clothes in my wardrobe. So I had to get a nice outfit, and my dad always drops me to school and then goes back for Mr. Fred and drops him at the office. So this day when my dad dropped me at school, during the way, he told me, my son, you look like you own this car. You don't get surprised when soon I'm going to start calling you Mr. Musoke. I told him, Dad, why are you teasing me? He told me, ha 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 ha, I'm not kidding, son. I told him, oh, Daddy, then if you've noticed that I'm dressing in a gentle way or I'm dressing differently, will Angel love me? Will she fall in love with me? Really, I had to go to school and walk around the whole school just to stare at her. So whenever I would go to school, I thought I would confess to her or talk to her, but I couldn't. So my heart felt heartbroken that there were no chances for that. Until I was at school having my lunch, I heard a soft voice calling me. "Hey, how are you?" Then I put up my eyes and looked at her. I didn't know who was the person. After me putting up the eyes, it was Angel. So she told me, is this seat taken?" I stood up and told her, "Of course, this seat is not taken. You may have it." She sat down smiling and told me, Angel, giving me a handshake. So my heart told me, tell her I know you're Angel and I love you. I fell in love with you some time back, but I couldn't. I also told her, giving her a handshake, I'm Musoke, nice to meet you. So we went on having the lunch, but I couldn't even have lunch because I was only thinking about her, and she was so beautiful as I was near to her. So we jazzed and jazzed and jazzed as we were having lunch. Soon we were done with lunch. As you know, for us, we think every day is a Sunday. So also the following day during lunchtime, I looked around and around and around, but I couldn't find Angel anywhere. So as I was moving through the corridor to my classroom, I heard her calling me, Musoke. As I looked back, it was Angel. She told me I was practicing for the next swimming competitions. Would you like us to go and shoot a funny video for my TikTok account? I didn't know that Angel had a TikTok account, so we shot anything funny and both of us posted it to our TikTok accounts. So it was really impressive and we started following each other. So that night we just a lot, hours and hours. So back in the morning when my dad took me back to school, really I had just stepped out of the car. Angel was in front of my eyes. So as we moved to the school, she was jazzing, but I couldn't even know what to tell her because I was in deep love with her. Whenever I would think, let me say this, I would be like, what if it's not good for her? Then she get pissed off of me. So I had to just keep quiet, and she jazzed and jazzed until to school. So we used to meet during break time and lunch time. As you know, school time these days, time runs. So it was during the night. I used to mostly concentrate on my books whenever I'm back from school. But for this time, I used to only concentrate on Angel, because Angel used to text me during those nights. So we used to talk much and much. She told me she was waiting for me to ask her if we would go out. I didn't deny, I just accepted. So we went to a nearby cafe to her home and we had coffee and some escorts. So we enjoyed the night, and that night, because we also jazzed since we had already started the jazz, so it was like compulsory that every night we have to jazz. So we jazzed and jazzed and jazzed. The following day, as we were at school, we sat down having lunch. We jazzed and she told me she would like us to go to a nearby hotel. Really, she told me she would send me the pics of the hotel during the night. Then time passed to the night. That night she sent me the photos. At first I didn't recognize the place, but after me I had gone to the Instagram accounts to check for the place, it was Serena Hotel. I said I didn't like the idea because the place looked to be fancy. It was fond of celebrities, and leave alone that I couldn't afford the place, because for me to afford the place I had to save my yearly allowance for me to just afford a night place to have just a dinner with my crush. So during school time I told her I didn't like the idea. So she told me, what you mean I don't look nice or the place doesn't suit me? I told her, no, babe. I'm embarrassed to say this, but I can't afford the place. She told me, yelling, Musoke, you are lying. I told her, why would you say I'm lying? She told me, you have a car and a driver who drops you every day at school. Your car is worth a fortune. You always wear designy clothes. You think I can't say it, or you think I can't recognize it, that your family is rich? I told her, really, you misunderstood me. The car that drops me every day belongs to my father's boss. My father is a personal driver, and these clothes that I always wear every day belong to the boss's son who passed away. So I'm nothing accordingly to finance. I'm just a middle class. So I told her, babe, you just misunderstood me. She told me, don't call me babe, as she was crying, and she just walked away. So remember, I was someone who got used to always texting to her every night, but now I couldn't text her. So the boredom had to occur, and I used to feel it hardly. So what I decided is to also add some classes so that I could come back late and tired, I just sleep. I started going used with the thing. So one day, as we were having lunch at home, my dad told me that Mr. Fred had invited us to his home. We had to go there as we were having beautiful times with Mr. Fred and my family. We used to jazz and laugh. So a certain man came in. Mr. Fred invited him to us. So he told us, Mr. George has something special to read for you. He had a briefcase and he opened it. He got out a white paper and we didn't know what was on the paper. So we paid a lot of attention to Mr. George so that we would know what was on the paper. It was Mr. Freddy's will, and it was saying like this: half of my wealth is given to the charity, and half of my wealth is given to Musoke. My house is going to be owned by Musoke. Then he was done with reading. For us the will. Fred told us that we would shift in the house earlier, like tomorrow. So we had to shift soon and soon. So in my heart I said, this was the life that Angel liked, but right now she's not around to enjoy the life. As we enjoyed the life, one day Mr. Fred called me in his office and he told me there was a swimming competition that his company had sponsored. So it was his company to give out the medals to the winners. So he told me I would go there on his behalf. I couldn't deny, I had to accept. So I knew in my heart, in these swimming competitions, it may be likely that I will find their Angel. Soon as I went there, I found Angel and she had passed in the second position. I got the medals and I put it into the neck of the first position girl and I told her congratulations. As I went towards the second position, where Angel had excelled from, I put the medal as I was smiling and I told her congratulations. I know she didn't reply to me because she was surprised to see me. So that night she sent the message that I've been waiting for, saying, how are you? It's been a long time. I didn't reply, so she sent the second message saying, I knew you lied me from the start. This upset me, so I had to reply back. I told her, I didn't tell you anything. It's just some few changes occurred, and that's the reason why I'm now rich. So she sent the other message saying, honey, I've been missing you. Have you been missing me too? I didn't reply. Alan. If you've liked my story, please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to share because you've liked the story. Maybe also your friend may like the story. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and share. Thank you very much. And this message goes to those girls there who are not patient. Patient is one of the keys to success in the future. Thank you very much.